All right, you guys ready? All right, here we go.
Hey out there. Welcome to NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runner's Alley. You are listening to the first ever New Hampshire Cross Country podcast, where we're just going to sit here and talk about all things running, all things high school cross country. So we're really excited to kind of bring that to you guys. And should I introduce myself?
Sure. I mean, we're just
all right.
talking.
Well, I guess that's what I'm doing. So I'm Amy Bernard. I've been with Pinkerton Cross Country and Pinkerton Academy for 24 years. I actually ran for Pinkerton Academy back in the 90s. And then once I got out of college, I ran for Merrimack College. I just wanted to be back in New Hampshire cross country. So just joined Pinkerton with the hopes of coaching and, I'm just a lifelong cross country runner. So, hi.
All right. Hey, Amy, I'm Tim Cox. I have coached at Co Brown for 20 something years. And I'm on a break, the Friends reference, if you really want to know what that means, for a couple of years as my older kids are down in college, and I have a younger son, Broden, who's running in middle school, and want to spend more time with him. And let's see, I grew up in New York, so I never ran New Hampshire cross country, which I'm sad about because New York was a huge, which is awesome. New York was awesome. Don't get me wrong. It was they're very just as proud, obviously, but it's huge, and you don't have the same sort of intimate gatherings as we do per se. Just for a quick example, we're just going to talk, right, Amy? So I could just
Yeah, we are.
So the 3 counties I ran in had just the same amount of population as New Hampshire.
Wow.
3 counties. So one section, and New York's divided into 11 sections, and section 1 had just the same population as New Hampshire. But, yeah. So then North Carolina, now teaching and coaching at Co Brown for so many years, and helped take over New Hampshire cross country, and Larry Martin kind of handed it off. And then we made it into the websites that you see today. So one of the things we wanted to do is start a podcast because you came up with that idea.
Did I? I'm not sure, but I do enjoy it. Actually.
Kind of, sort of. Might have mentioned it at our end of year get together.
That's right. And you're taking a break, so why not take a break by talking about cross country, right?
Exactly. All right, Davio, introduce yourself, buddy.
All right, I am Davio DeLuca. I ran for Co Brown, graduated in 2017, and since then I have been helping out, working with the website. I do mostly pictures, but I've also been doing a lot of the live streams and commentary occasionally. So also volunteer coaching at Co Brown right now, so still pretty involved with New Hampshire running.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all that you do, because the website is just such a celebration of our kids running in New Hampshire and all of their hard work that they can always look back to. It's there forever, and it's just really awesome. So thank you.
So you're welcome, Davio.
You're welcome. Sorry, I'm looking at our itinerary here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the hopes is to have a consistent conversation going on throughout the whole season, and we're also hoping to have different guests, different hosts. This is just us kind of kickstarting it, especially since it was all Amy's idea back in fall 2022. So, but catching up too. We also want this to be sort of natural. So, catching up, Amy, how was your summer?
My summer was awesome. It was quiet. We did a lot of college tours. I have a daughter who's a senior in high school, and just trying to make that decision. And she's open to going anywhere and seeing anything, which makes it even harder. So, so a lot of college tours.
What's the furthest school you guys were looking at?
San Diego.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me cry.
Yeah, okay. I'll just say, when Aiden decided not to go to school in Arizona, we were pretty happy. We were doing the happy dance in our house.
Yeah. It's overwhelming, and all of these colleges are like they're like country clubs now. It's just so different than when we were in college. So it's a huge decision, but so that was really fun. And like I said, just spending time with family and a lot of running. That's pretty much my summer. How about yourself?
What are you training for right now?
I'm not really training for too much of anything. I don't know. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. How about yourself?
It was a different summer. Most of the summers up until the summer, it was kind of gearing up for. We have a running camp that we do with our team up in Bar Harbor, and that was the first time I've never gone. I didn't go. Part of the reason was Aiden had his orientation down in Virginia. So we brought the youngest, and we all just kind of went down and enjoyed Charlottesville, which is really cool. They have this tunnel there, the Blue Ridge Tunnel, that my 12-year-old loved. Charlottesville's only 30 minutes from the Appalachian Mountains, so the Blue Ridge Mountains, and you park just like a rail trail parking. Picture that, but it's on the side of a mountain, and it's about a half-mile run to the tunnel, and the tunnel is almost a mile long, where you have to have a headlamp. Or like we forgot them, or I did, I should say. So I used my cell phone light, which you could barely see in front of you. But Mrs. Cox, my wife, Jen, beat us there because we gave her a head start, and she did not want to go in there by herself. That's how long and dark it was.
Oh, boy.
But it was like kind of an out and back, because on the other side, there's another couple miles. So it was about a 5-mile run. It was just an awesome deal. So just adventures like that, trying to do stuff I could never do because we were, gearing up for that. We have our annual vacation in Eastman, Grantham, New Hampshire, which is a different place to run, a different place to explore, golf, kayak, all sorts of stuff. So it was a nice summer. I wish I could say I ran as much as I wanted to, but I've been kind of nursing an Achilles tendinopathy, whatever they want to call it. It's feeling a little better now, so I'm good enough at 50 to be able to run. What about you, Dav?
I've been doing a lot of running. I did actually go to cross-country camp. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good.
Had a rough time trying to keep up with everybody, but...
it only gets better.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't want to hear that, Dav. Just get faster, getting fitter. You need to get a coach or something.
Hey, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm training for my first marathon right now. So.
Awesome. Which one?
I'm doing CIM.
Oh, awesome. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool. I'm excited for it.
For you. Good for you.
Awesome.
So next up on our agenda, huh? We just any early season surprises. So go ahead.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, no, all I was going to say is I feel like after, just what I've seen in the meet results, it's really hard to tell. I think the beginning of the season's been so oppressively hot and humid. I don't know that anyone's really been able to race all out yet. So I feel like this weekend's really going to be the time where we're going to kind of see what is really out there.
Yeah, with some outer rims of a hurricane.
Yeah. We can run through that, right?
Going to one extreme to another,
Well, if it's directed right, it's going to be a tailwind at Mines Falls tomorrow. Depending.
Yeah. Well, and it had right in both directions, but.
Yeah, no, the weather was pretty hot. We covered Bobcat last week, and that was really hot on top of a very early course.
There, yeah, and yeah, like you say, that's a really tough course, anyways. So with the heat, that was a hard day. But everyone actually ran pretty well despite like the conditions and just how hard the course is. There were some pretty good performances at Bobcat.
Yeah, the couple surprises I have is the depth of the Oyster River girls team. That was pretty deep, and I like we said, like Amy alluded to, we're not sure who's at full strength, things like that. It's just really early. There's college visits going on also still, and it's really not until this weekend and next weekend that things kind of settle out. But Oyster River, man, what did they have? 5 in the top 8. Am I correct without pulling up the results myself right now? And they had probably like 8 in the top 12. They were just deep, and they wanted to show up on their course. They know the course very well, so obviously it's their backyard. And then there was another surprise, a Guilford freshman, someone that moved in from Texas, and excuse me if I butcher the name, but it's Bocelli Howland Velakis. He was second at Bobcat, and then he just won a 10-team meet at Belmont. I just put the results up today, courtesy of Scott Clark. Just put those, and that was yesterday, I believe. So he's kind of new and on the scene. Freshman boys take a little while to develop, but he's running well already.
So I saw him run at the Guilford Old Home Day 5K.
Oh wow!
Because Patrick Hill ran that, and he came in like low 17s, I think, in that. And we both looked at the results and we were like, wow, who's this kid? Because he was 14. And then, and he had a Guilford cross country jersey on. And so then we saw him at Bobcat, and everything kind of clicked. But I was like, aha, we've seen this kid before.
Wow.
Yeah. It's funny how Patrick Gandini graduates and then they get another stud right away.
But he looked really good at Bobcat. He ran really smart. He was kind of just like at the back end of the front back for a lot of it. And then ran really, really strong the second half, and passed most of that front pack to come in second, and was closing on Redmond actually over the last mile of that race. So.
I will say Redmond was cruising pretty good the last half mile, so we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
He looked smooth.
Tomorrow's gonna be good.
But Bocelli looked pretty good.
Cool.
So then, go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
We're getting used to this.
I was going to ask you. Yeah, we got to get into a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, Coach. I know you're helping Pinkerton, and you were a head coach for a while. But what do you guys usually focus on first half of September, especially when, like you said, sometimes the weather is pretty challenging as well as getting back to school. What do you guys focus on as a program?
So for us, I think it's all about team, right? It's about building, that culture where they're doing it for each other. It's about understanding what we're all about and the expectations of the program and buying into that. Just kind of getting everybody on the same page. So really, I think that and just building their engines, right? So and keeping them healthy. So. It's some of them, they want to go out so hard right at the beginning and you kind of have to say, let's reel it in a little bit. We've got a long season and you guys know that last month and the last 3 races of the season are huge. So it's a little bit of a finessing, I'd say. But number one is just is getting that team culture and building that teamwork.
That's a huge balancing act to what you were just saying about the training, because you have the very beginner runners that, last year I think we even had a group that was walk jogging the first week or two because it was just that they're just that fresh coming off of COVID, things like that, not a lot of experience. But then you have the kids that you've had, like Isabel.
Yeah.
They've been around forever and they're ready to do a lot more, so the balancing is huge. But our goal always was to try to keep kids as healthy as possible.
Right.
While building that, but the team culture was number one at this point because we were always kind of all about the freshmen, right, Dob? The summer and then also the first part of September, just getting them ready, getting them acclimated to school, but training-wise, getting them ready to race because the racing will come. Hopefully they did their summer homework. If they didn't, then we have to go back to doing that first. But very similar.
Yeah, I think it's also just getting in a good routine. Once summer training, you can kind of go run whenever you want, wherever you want, and then once you start actually going to practice every day, you got to kind of get used to that routine again. I know we've been talking a lot about making sure everybody's fueling properly during school and hydrating and stuff because a lot of times, school's pretty busy and people forget about that stuff. So, just, getting back into the swing of things the first couple weeks.
Building towards Manch too, right? I mean, that's the first big meet. And, National North is big tomorrow, but Manchester's Manchester. It's kind of tomorrow's the dress rehearsal going into Manch. And then after that, you see where you stand and then you can, including JVs, by the way. And then you could kind of plan the rest of the season out.
Right. Yeah. And I think for some of them, your new people, they're not used to this type of intensity, right? With, invitationals and this type of competition and middle school is just so different. So trying to get them used to it, but also keeping them keeping them calm and not getting really nervous, and trying to keep it light and fun. That's kind of all part of it, right?
Yeah, especially once you hit Manchester, these big meets start coming like crazy. So you got to kind of prepare people for that, because you're going to have like all these big invites. You're going to have JV states, like varsity states, like, and then maybe New England's and meet champions, and like everything just comes up so fast, like weekend after weekend. So
right.
You got to use this kind of early season to make sure everybody's prepared.
Yeah, and I think I think back to my cross country days, and I don't know that I ever ran with such purpose and intensity as I did in high school. Right, like every race just matters so much. It matters to your teammates. It feels like the biggest thing in the world, right? It's just so special. Now I go out and do road races, and I'm on a team, and it really does. It's important and it matters, but it just doesn't feel the same as stepping onto the starting line at Dairyfield and looking up that hill and knowing what is to come. So yeah, it's just it's a special time. It's an exciting time, but just kind of preparing them mentally for that.
I'm just excited. I smile just because I'm excited for this season to get going. Super excited about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the rain and the wind, and we're gonna try to sell some T-shirts, keep them dry, help support the site.
I love that. So are we talking about tomorrow now?
We can, yeah. Well, let's definitely talk about tomorrow. But in that, whatever you want to say about tomorrow, but I also we're gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Put all of us on the spot, because this is way too early to do this. And I want some outlandish predictions here. What is going to be your surprise of the season? We do have a little bit of data, but what would you say would be your surprise of the season? You could call it an individual surprise or a team surprise. But
on my team?
No. Although it can be on your team, but you might be giving away too much, Amy. I know how you like to play poker, so.
Right. No. So what do I think?
Let's talk about tomorrow, and then if you want to sprinkle in there your big surprise for what do you think is going to be the big surprise of the season?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just say that I think tomorrow is going to be super exciting because we have, on the girls' side, Hanover, Bedford, Pinkerton, all kind of facing off. It's going to be a flat, fast course. So I think kids are going to go out with some intensity and not be, scared to hit hard on that first mile. And if the weather is kind of a little gnarly, that's even better. So I really think that that's going to kind of give us like the information we need. And, on the girls' side too, with freshmen are so impactful, right? So, especially for the girls' side. So you just never know what teams are going to have, new like runners that are just going to pop right into the front. So I really don't know that we know much until we really get out there.
Yeah, I mean, on the girls' side, you have 4 of the top 10 with Winnacunnet also at number 5 checking in.
Right. Yeah.
And Charlotte Kudalitis, who is a state champion in of her own right. So that's going to be super exciting. And on the guys' side is even deeper and more parity, I think, because there's, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 10 showing up tomorrow. Pinkerton is number 1 right now, but they kind of have this really brief rivalry going with Nashua South.
Yeah, they looked real strong at Souhegan Relays, I'm going to say. They went 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Yeah, like the relay teams, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that's deep too. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And then,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just them and that. I want to see how Souhegan factors into that, but we're going to have to wait until Manchester. But this looks pretty good.
Oh.
All right, we got to guess.
I'm wrapping up. Yeah. Oh, I can lock up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
Perfect.
A little more time. There we go.
I get the master keys over here at Pinkerton.
We did, that's part of being administration right there.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. But you know what else I'm looking forward to with tomorrow is Matt Giardina from Bishop Garden.
Right.
Man, that kid's been grinding away, just trying to get better and better and better. And last spring track was a great example of that, from anywhere from the mile, but really the 3,200 and the 5,000, and then seeing how it translates going into his junior year. Like, that's exciting. And then I know Jacob Redmond had a great summer, just talking with him last week. And what if Redmond's around with Giardina in the last? I mean, keep in mind, Redmond in the 3,200 back in D1s in spring was kind of walking him down a little bit at the end there in the 3,200. So I'm super interested in seeing that matchup and Sully Sturts from Keene. He's a sophomore now, so he had a really good freshman year in cross country. Kind of see where he factors in. So, but I don't know who the big surprise will be. I mean, what's your prediction for the big surprise? Well, Dob, what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Oh, boy.
Now that we got more time with the Pinkerton Library.
I mean, I would say kind of, well, maybe not with the weather, but you know, a flat course being a bit more representative of what people can run. Combining guys and girls that run on like the Demerara Hill course, and also like Sauhegan Relays was you don't have like individual times in that, so I think just having our first opportunity to see a picture of what things are shaping up to look like, because I have no idea.
Right. I think on the girls' side, I think we're going to have a pack in the front. I can't really speak to one particular individual that I think will take the lead really out front. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think there's going to be a lot of people in the mix there. So it really is going to be neat to see how it shakes out.
I think you're echoing the preview we just posted on the website. So we do have a preview for the meet tomorrow. And yeah, we're agreeing with Amy exactly. You have all these great athletes on the female side, and there's not somebody that might just take it from the gun. They're going to be feeling each other out as far as the first half of the race, and then it's going to be a barn burner, I think, the last bit, and that's always super exciting for the fans.
Yeah, I love it, and that just gets me so excited to think about even just the end of the season. Not to jump, I don't want to jump to the end of our season, but I just love when we have such strong teams in New Hampshire, because we just make ourselves better, and then we make ourselves so much more competitive when we hit New England's. I remember all of those years that we would duke it out with Co Brown, and it was like literally both of us standing at the end of like the beginning of the straightaway, and like, you got to get that point, like, but that just made us so much stronger. So I really think that we're setting ourselves up here this season for not only some really standout performances individually in the team, but also like, bringing it all the way to New England's with some really strong team performances. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just so excited.
Well, no, that brings me to my big bold prediction. I think over the course of this season, ranked number one, there's going to be 4 different girls teams ranked number one at any time during the season.
I think that's fair.
So it's not that bold.
No.
Gosh, darn it.
No,
we've never had 4 different. Davia, can you think of another time we've had 4 different teams ranked number one?
I mean, not like since
that's
I've
how cool it's going to be.
Attention to it, like.
Yeah, there's usually 1 or 2, like 2 that are duking it out for 1 and 2, and it's usually separate divisions because they can't see each other all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then it obviously plays itself out at the end of the year. But I'm talking there's just like 4, and there could possibly be 5. But I'm going to hold back who I think that 5th team can be.
Oh, interesting. It's going to make the divisional championships pretty interesting too, with some evenly matched teams. So it's really exciting.
On both sides, yeah. And then any bold predictions from Davia or Amy? Because I gave mine, not to put you guys on the spot.
Oh gosh,
I could talk a little bit while you think about it.
It's so hard to tell right now. I just know, at least on the girls' side, none of the teams have really lost a lot of athletes to graduation. So it's so hard to say. I gotta wait. I gotta wait another week. Yeah.
All right. What do you got, Davi? You got any bold predictions here?
Bold predictions.
Yeah.
It's so tough. It's week 1,
Yeah, come on. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'll just say something crazy. Let's see. I think Redmond has a really good shot at winning tomorrow, which I don't think is that crazy to say, but Giardina is kind of the guy this year, so I think it will just be really interesting to see how that kind of plays out.
Do you know Giardina's PR in the 5K? I just want you to think about that.
Do I know
Before
his
you
PR
say
in the
that.
5K?
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
I don't actually know his PR. What is it?
No, look it up. But I don't know. I hear you, because if Jake keeps it close, that could be pretty exciting. And I don't think we should underestimate Matt Giardina's kick at the end of a 5K, by the way. Just going to say that. Plus, he's a junior, and he's going to be even stronger. So, but pretty good prediction, though, for sure. But if I can, too, I just want to talk just briefly about what we got going on with the websites. If you haven't noticed, we've combined the sites with track and field, finally. People have been asking us why we haven't done that before, but it just was historical, and but it made a lot of sense because we were maintaining two sites, which as they got bigger, it got a lot tougher. But it'll be the same old coverage, it's keeping everything free, not behind a paywall, including these podcasts, which hopefully people actually listen to. We'll might have to pay them to listen to it. But the meet hubs are still there. Like tomorrow, we'll be at Nashua North doing recording the races, but we'll post them as soon as possible. We'll have photos, we'll have interviews. We are selling T-shirts. The T-shirts go directly to the funding of the site, on top of what Runners Alley and Hoka helps us out with. But it takes a lot to run these sites. As much as you guys can help, be great. Get a cool looking T-shirt, which also builds state pride. I would like to think at places like New England's and things like that. So, and then. Like we said, we have the podcast. This is not necessarily going to be a rankings reveal. We will be talking about rankings, but we used to do those. But we just want to talk cross country and really build up all the kids. With that said, once we make this known and we settle on a night, we'll have a chat, like as far as being live and letting you know how you can throw in your own comments, because we are just three people, and we might not be the same three people every broadcast. So we want you guys to comment appropriately, because we're still teaching and educating.
Right.
And we want to keep doing this, but we want to build everyone up, because that's always been the goal of the websites. And we always build everybody up, and we don't take anybody down. So we really want you to fall on those lines. But what are other future topics we're looking at, Amy?
So we want to learn from some of our college athletes. We certainly have had a lot of success, with people graduating and moving on. And so we're hoping to have some of them back. We know we have that.
Hold on. I just got a text from Forrest McKenzie claiming that this could be the year. And I'm like, the year of what? He's like, of the comeback, the breakthrough.
Right.
He's now at Louisville in the ACC, and he looks like he's running really well. So that's an example of that. Can be anybody that can pipe in.
Real good summer.
Yeah, new coaching staff, new scene, everything. It looks pretty cool. So
cool. And we have a lot of former runners running outside of college too. Like I know Jacqueline Guan just won the New Hampshire 10 miler. Incredible. So there's a lot of people we could tap into, and I'm really excited about that. We had the women's New Hampshire Runs Conference. So there was a lot of really interesting topics. I was actually on the elite panel last year for that. It was really fun to be a part of. So hopefully we can kind of bring some of that stuff.
I'd love to have Stephanie on.
Yeah.
She organized the whole thing. So that'd be kind of cool if we had Stephanie on.
Yeah, and she's such a champion for women's running. So
cool.
Definitely, I kind of put on here like nutrition, sleep, just lifelong running, like all things running, because to be the best runner you can be, it takes not only what you do at practice, but it's like it's about everything, right? It's about its total lifestyle. It's a commitment. So, definitely certain factors that like play into that, and, school, work, and, that too much and burnout. So I put that there. And then I think, most importantly is, what do you guys want to hear? Right. Because, that's the audience. Right. So what do you guys want us to talk about? Who do you want us to interview?
Well, there's like two things there, right, with the audience, because Davios is going to be on YouTube, correct?
Yes, it will.
So there could be comments just below this broadcast on what kind of topics you want to hear about, or if you want to give shout outs off of a weekend. Not that we would ever on purpose overlook anyone, but if you believe anybody deserves the attention and you want to do shout outs and you want us to talk about anybody, just let us know. And then also, we need a name. We need a name of this podcast. I think New Hampshire Cross Country Podcast is a bit generic. We need something a little bit more eye-catching. So we're putting that to you guys, the viewers, of what we can name this thing. And it might take a few different episodes to kind of see where we're coming from and the different hosts that we have thought up. So let's put that out to them too.
Yeah, I'd buy somebody a shirt if they can name the podcast.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it. We could just give it to them.
Yeah, whoever's podcast name that we end up picking, they get a shirt. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds awesome.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I do think definitely like once we have a kind of a set weekly time, then we can get more people in the chat and just talk about stuff if people are watching and they want to have some input, if we miss something or if they just want to give a shout out or give some insight, then it'd be awesome to just have that like live feedback while we're going. And then also if you're watching a recording on YouTube, which this one will probably be mostly people rewatching it, put a comment down below if you want us to talk about something next week. Any shout outs of somebody's performance that you think was really noteworthy, and then we can take a look at those before we start the next podcast and make sure that we talk about everything that the people want.
Yeah, like, subscribe, is that what they say? But in all seriousness, I'm so excited. Amy, I know we talked about maybe doing something after Manchester. We might need to do something before Manchester.
Right.
The preview of the granddaddy of them all.
Right.
I mean, that's just something we'll try to figure out the time between teaching and administrating and all the things we have, being parents and selling boats, Davio. So those are those things we got to think about.
Yeah, but that's going to be a big one, and then that's going to give us a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's a pretty exciting time.
Yeah. So check out
the Manchester Special Edition podcast.
We should go live from Manchester.
That'd be cool.
Davio, that's on you. Figure that out.
I'm not even going to be there. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Neither am I.
All right, so
missing my first one, Amy. I'm going down to Virginia. I'm missing my first Manchester.
Oh man,
I'm upset about it, but I'm not upset about it.
So we gave our listeners some homework, right? We asked them to try to name our podcast and give us some topics, so we can make this fun and interesting for you guys.
Check out the site next week. We'll have previews, and who knows? We might do another little broadcast. Who knows? Just be aware.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you guys.
I just want to shout out. We have one person in the chat right now. Tim, who do you think it is?
Greg.
Nope.
Jimmy.
Nope. 3 guesses.
Patrick.
Nope. It is Tyler Sheedy.
What's Tyler have to say?
He said, "This podcast is so exciting."
Tyler, because he's one of those college athletes. We could get him on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tyler is like New Hampshire cross country's biggest fan.
He's going to be touting Dover, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dover has to offer. By the way, Dover did a team blog, our first team blog from somebody other than Messinic, so check it out.
I read that. That was so awesome. I loved it.
And I've Messinic just sent in their first one, so I'll be posting that hopefully tonight. We'll see. But yeah.
Cool behind the scenes into some different teams.
Awesome. All right. Well, on that note, are we signing off, guys?
I guess so.
I love New Hampshire cross country. How about you guys?
Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely.
All right. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.